Welcome to the Cowbell Kingdom Road Reaction postgame show where the Sacramento Kings have finally won a game, snapping their 8-game losing streak against the Indiana Pacers by a final of 99-94. They had a 23-point lead in this game, almost let it slip away, but they clung to life and won despite DeMarcus Cousins having a horrible shooting game and fouling out late in this one. Mr. Rui Thomas, the drought is over. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm not really sure what to say because wins are so rare these days. We kind of lost our routine from early in the season. But the Kings, they came out looking pretty fiery. They started off taking lots of jumpers. They started the game over 6, which made it seem kind of like a repeat of, the last 2 weeks. But then they started getting really aggressive, going to the line a lot. They shot a lot of free throws, and they shot them really accurately. Last time they played Indiana, they drew 40 free throws and made 28. Tonight, they started 23 for 23 from the line until Ben McLemore missed his first, I believe, in the fourth quarter. So the aggressiveness down in the paint, along with good defense and taking care of the ball in the first half, definitely helped the Kings go a long way.
Yeah, I think it was crucial. You talked about taking care of the ball, and early in this game they had one turnover. I mean, they had 0 turnovers until right around midway through the second quarter. They do finish with 14 turnovers. They kind of get sloppy. Late in the second quarter, they get sloppy in the third and fourth quarters, and that's when they really started to let this thing slide a little bit. But as of right now, they did improve to 6-16 under Tyrone Corbin. They are 17-29 on the season, so they are officially 12 games under 500. This was an interesting game. To me, you're right. The Kings came out jump shooting, and that was kind of ugly. Where they really turned this game around was on the defensive end. I saw the Kings playing off their guys a little bit more and being a little more aggressive in the passing lanes. DeMarcus Cousins had 5 steals last night. Tonight, I think he picked up another 3. He was really, really solid defensively. He moved well until late in the game when he started getting tired, and you could see it coming down. Let's get to some of the stats in this game, Rui. Rudy Gay finishes. He has a huge night, and he has a big shot down the stretch, too. 31 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 10 of 22 from the field and 11 of 11 from the line. The Kings shot 26 of, I think it's 26 of 29 from the line tonight. And you're right, they only missed those 3. McLemore missed 1, and then Collison somehow misses a pair of freebies right in a crucial moment down the stretch. Then the Kings turn the ball over. They give a 3-pointer to C.J. Miles, and he bricks it. That could have been disaster for the Kings and really a game changer. What did you see out of Rudy Gay's game tonight, Rui?
Rudy Gay definitely took advantage of his defensive matchup, which was Lopez for a lot of the night, and also Solomon Hill and C.J. Miles. They all took turns. His jumper was really good tonight. He likes to post up or back down to the basket and then do that little turnaround, and that was really effective, including a really big one down the stretch when they isolated him, and the Pacers double teamed him on the left baseline, and he managed to turn around and flip it over to put the Kings up 6 in the last 30 seconds or so. But he was aggressive as well. He led the way. With Cousins struggling from the floor, they really needed Gay's efficiency. And through the first half, he had, I believe he had 18 points, right, to finish with 30, I believe, right? That's what he finished with. So
Yeah, 31 on the night, 31.
So yeah, him, Cousins, and Collison, they combined to score 74 out of the 99 points the Kings had. So with little help coming anywhere else, they were the offensive boost they needed.
Yeah, let's get to some of these other numbers. You talked about Cousins. Cousins finishes with 20 points and 19 rebounds. He's 1 rebound shy of a 20-20, and he actually had that rebound and was called for a foul that was his 6th in the waning moments of this one. But here's a couple of issues with Cousins' big night. He goes 6 of 24 from the line. He couldn't buy a jumper. The Kings kept shooting jump shots. I get it. Indiana's got Roy Hibbert, a big man. They've got Mienmi, who is a very good shot blocker. So I understand Cousins going outside, but at some point you got to try to score more in the post. I don't know. It was a struggle to watch. He does turn the ball over 4 times as well, but a lot of the game really the pace of this game was pushed by DeMarcus Cousins. He was grabbing rebounds, leading the break, getting the ball to his teammates in good positions. He finishes with 3 assists, but that could have been a lot more. He actually had a very, very solid passing game tonight. Darren Collison, I thought up until the moment that Darren Collison missed those 2 free throws that he was easily the MVP of this game. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 of 6 from behind the arc. He was so good. And what I noticed late in this game, too, is he really put the clamps down defensively when Indiana was trying to claw their way back into this, be it George Hill or be it C.J. Miles. C.J. Miles goes 1 of 9 from behind the arc and just is, I mean, he scored 17 points, but I don't even know how he did it. I thought Collison was impressive. The Kings have really gone away from Ben McLemore, which is very strange to me to watch. I mean, McLemore scores 8 points, but he goes 3 of 9 from the field. I think he was 0 of 2 in the first half. He just isn't getting any opportunity, and he's still playing huge minutes. It's sort of like they're locking him out of the game, which is a bit strange to me. What are your thoughts on sort of Ben McLemore and how he fits in this team for the next couple of weeks, Rui?
Well, we documented this earlier in the season. Ben McLemore doesn't create his own shot very often, so when he's depending on Collison or Cousins to set him up, and your big 3 of Collison, Cousins, and Gay like to shoot, whenever they can get open looks, there's not going to be much leftovers left for McLemore. So yeah, he was 1 for 2 in the first half. His shooting has definitely been a little off for the last few games, so his progress moving forward is worth monitoring. But he's getting open looks. He's just missing those open looks, which is kind of reminiscent of his rookie year. So hopefully, he remains level-headed through this.
Yeah, you mentioned his rookie year, and I think the one thing that I'll point out is that this is the same thing he did in his rookie season. He really, really faded in January, and that's what cost him the Rising Stars game last year, and maybe what caused him the Rising Stars game this year, especially with the Kings, going in their massive tailspin. But the thing I'm going to point out tonight, too, is that Tyrone Corbin went for the win in this game. There's no question at all that he wanted to win this game, and even though the Kings played back-to-back games, he ran Rudy Gay out there for 44 minutes. DeMarcus Cousins played 39 before fouling out. Ben McLemore played 36, and 40 for Darren Collison. Only one guy off the bench, Carl Landry, plays 26 minutes. He finishes with 2 points, 5 rebounds, and only 1 of 3 from the field. Carl Landry, again, he plays 26 minutes. He's the only guy to play more than 10 minutes in this game off the bench. The Kings got 0 out of their bench, and actually, startling stat of the night, 56-11, the Kings were outscored on the bench, which is embarrassing. But, I'm going to point this out, too. No Ray McCallum tonight, no Quincy Miller, and no Derek Williams. And Derek Williams has actually been in and out of the starting lineup. He's played substantial minutes. They went to Omri Caspi tonight instead. Caspi, he plays 8.5 minutes in this game, and he hits his only field goal attempt, and it was a three-pointer, which that was only Caspi's 4th three-pointer made of the season. He hadn't made a three-pointer since December 29th, which is shocking too. And but it was a big 3, and he spaced the floor right. And I think what little contribution they got from their bench. Say this: their bench didn't hurt them tonight, and maybe that's why they won this game. Anytime they did go to the bench, I think all of us said, "Uh-oh, get your starters back in, get your starters back in." It's kind of the way this game went. Even Ramon Sessions, finishes with 4 points on 2 of 4 shooting. He had a better night than he has lately, but this game really started to slide when they went to their bench. They really started to turn the ball over when they went to the bench, especially Stauskas and Sessions were the first 2 turnovers, had the first 2 turnovers in this game. So this is a good win. I mean, the Kings needed this win. No matter a win is a win, but of course there is room for improvement. All right, Rui, let's get to our 3 points of the night. I'm going to hand this over to you. The face-off at the 4. What do you got for me?
So last match when we had the Kings play the Pacers, we had some great individual matchups. We had Jason Thompson and David West going at it, and then we had this epic duel between Luis Scola and Carl Landry when they both came off the bench at the same time. So tonight, the Pacers front line, or the Pacers 4s, worked the Kings 4s pretty well because David West came out really hot, scored 6 points, all jump shots, mid-range jump shots over Jason Thompson in the first quarter, and he scores He had 11 points in the second half. And then Scola came out very aggressive in the first half, crashing the paint, really looking to tussle and battle down there with the Kings bigs. And he scores 9 points in the first half and, put back some really nice shots. So the Pacers fours took this one, but, it didn't make a difference despite being, the battle came down to the center position, really.
Yeah, if I'm looking at that four spot, a couple of things that pop into my head. Number one, Carl Landry and David West are literally like the same exact player. They are. They play almost the identical game. The one thing I thought was pretty obvious earlier this one. You mentioned David West hitting those first three jumpers over Jason Thompson. Jason Thompson just had to do a better job of getting his hand up. I mean that was to me early in this game. He almost cost the Kings this game. He let Indiana stick around in this game in the first quarter when the Kings struggled to find their shot. Indiana struggled to find their shot. Finally, the Kings started finding their shot and started pulling away. But David West starts banging these wide open 18 to 20-foot jumpers. Same thing Carl Landry starts doing against teams too. I mean, they just have virtually the same game. So that's one point. The second point I'd say is Luis Scola, man, he's such a shell of himself, and he's such a ground-based player, and he just tends to injure other players. At this point, he's almost like watching like Eduardo Nájera, where you're waiting for him to like fall into someone's knee or inadvertently like gouge someone's eye out or something. He's just ridiculous. And he was a very, very good NBA player at one time, but now he's just kind of a shell. And he did put up 13 on the Kings. The Kings front line the four position did get outscored, but I think that you're right. It's an afterthought. The Kings are a big three-base team. They're going to primarily feed, Collison, Gay, and Cousins. And, a guy like Jason Thompson just didn't get featured tonight, and same can be said about Mr. Carl Landry. All right, let's get to our second point of the game. Outside shooting. Why don't you hit outside shooting first?
Okay, so the Pacers are an elite defensive team in the paint, and that starts with Roy Hibbert, right? 7'2", shot blocker. We all remember that swat heard around the world against Carmelo Anthony in the playoffs a couple of years ago. But, he definitely took care of Cousins and forced Cousins to take a lot of jump shots outside, which he did not do very well tonight. That goes along with his 6 for 24 shooting from the field. But the Kings as a whole, they were taking jump shots. I mean, we talked about it, how they started out just selling for jumpers, but they kind of had to with the Pacers' size down low, and they made them. 5 for 15 from behind the arc, which is about where their averages go for the season. But they made those important threes like Caspi's big three, which Sessions kicked out, which was a wonderful play, and kept the rhythm of the offense going. And lots of mid-range jumpers. That Rudy Gay one you can add, and the clincher by Darren Collison in the final seconds. So the Kings made the jump shots they had to make.
Yeah, that shot by Collison was spectacular. He had a guy draped all over him. The shot clock was winding down, and he just hit a big one. I also remember Carl Landry hitting a big shot when this game looked like it was slipping away. He hit a big shot and pushed the lead back up to 10 in the fourth quarter. Again, as the shot clock was winding down, you can kind of look around and see that a couple of Kings had, good shots here and there. DeMarcus Cousins looked like he was out of rhythm tonight. I'll point this out with his jump shot specifically. What I saw from Cousins is that he kept pump faking, even though Hibbert was way off him, and then he would shoot in the middle of his recoil from a pump fake, which was odd to see. He looked totally out of balance with his perimeter game, and that's why he shot 6 of 24 from the field. I mean, again, their defense was tight inside, and that was good to see. Cousins still fight through it. He did have some incredible plays down the stretch. Not to beat on Cousins for his 6 of 24 shooting, but he had some huge plays down the stretch where he grabbed rebounds and put them back. That's where Cousins is at his best, is just a dominant. I mean, he had that hammer. Rudy Gay drove the lane and missed a little floater, and Cousins just ripped it down, on a putback, and that was nice. So, again, the Kings are a jump shooting team primarily outside of DeMarcus Cousins, especially with Gay and Collison. So when they go cold, it's tough. It's tough to win. And tonight, I think they were lucky to survive. All right, let's get to our last key to this game, and that is body language. I don't know about you, but the Kings had much, much better body language tonight in my book. They looked like they were ready to play. They looked like they weren't defeated, which is what we've seen the last couple of games. They didn't have that moment where they just like sunk their shoulders and said, here we go again. I thought the body language was good. I thought Cousins' body language was good. I thought the Pacers didn't have great body language. And, I think that's part of the issue with this team, this Kings team. When they have poor body language, they seem to fall apart early and often. And tonight we saw some good stuff.
Oh yeah, we did not see any slumped shoulders tonight. I thought the play in the paint again was really telling. Just fighting those guys and drawing all those fouls, very good. And then the turnovers. While we didn't see too many turnovers tonight, the Kings got back to contest those points off of them. And there was a play in the fourth quarter where I believe the Kings were up 3 or 4, and they turned the ball over right after the inbound when Carl Landry was dribbling the ball off court. And Darren Collison, after C.J. Miles misses that open three, somehow manages to tip the ball out from a Pacers front court player and gets it into Rudy Gay's hands. So, that play right there, I think, symbolized like the Kings' heart tonight.
All right, let's get to our MVP of the game. I'm going to let you go first, Rui. Who is your MVP tonight?
My MVP is going to be Darren Collison because he carried the Kings offense in the first half when he scored 17 points. And, he was a major reason why they only had 3 turnovers in the first half. Finishes with 23 points, 9 of 15 field goals, 3 of 6 from behind the arc. Those 2 free throws he missed at the end of the game we can look over those, right? Because the Kings won. Had they lost, they would have come back to haunt him. But added 5 assists, 1 steal, and only 1 turnover for the night. So Darren Collison, the steady hand that kept the Kings in this one.
Yeah, I would also go with Collison, but since you stole Collison from me, I'm going to go with Rudy Gay. His second 30-point is with 31 points and 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 5 personal fouls, which is shocking, but he only turned the ball over once. And he also had a block shot, and he played 44 huge minutes. Again, Tyrone Corbin clearly stuck to his starters and was going to win or lose with his starting group tonight, and it just so happened that they pulled out the win. And so Rudy Gay with a nod to Darren Collison, who on Twitter I called the man of the match before he bricked his 2 free throws, so maybe I jinxed him. Way to step up for Darren Collison. I'll say this too. Collison has a lot of former teams, and he always gets up to play against them. So I guess it's good. I mean, it's too bad that Collison didn't play for like 29 teams, because then you would have him like going crazy every night. He's been really solid. He's been a nice addition to this team, and tonight it was good to see him sort of get it going against his former team and former teammates in Indiana. All right, Rui, do you have anything else for us? Some final thoughts?
This game salvaged their road trip because they finished 1-6, and they turn around and play Golden State at home on Tuesday, so they needed any sort of momentum to have a chance against the Warriors. So that should be a good one.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this edition of the Cowbell Kingdom Road Reaction postgame show. Like Rui said, the Sacramento Kings will be back in action on Tuesday against the Golden State Warriors. I'm going to make a random suggestion to Kings fans here. Adam Silver will be in the building on Tuesday, Commissioner Adam Silver. And I don't know if everyone knows this yet, but DeMarcus Cousins is an NBA All-Star. And the reason he's an NBA All-Star is because, number one, he's been great this season, but number two, Adam Silver used his injury replacement on DeMarcus Cousins and not Damian Lillard, which I think shocked most people around the league. And Sacramento, is a passionate fan group, and I know they are known to look for the purple tie in everything. So every time David Stern would step to the podium, or Adam Silver would step to the podium, or Clay Bennett from the Oklahoma City Thunder would step to the podium. You always look for that purple tie. Well, I think Sacramento Kings fans, they owe a huge debt of gratitude to Adam Silver for his decision, because I got to be honest with you, if DeMarcus Cousins didn't make the All-Star team this season, I'm not quite sure what would have happened. You think things are bad with the team losing 8 straight. It could have got much, much worse, especially if Cousins wanted to hold someone responsible for why he didn't make the All-Star team. So I'm going to make a suggestion to Sacramento Kings fans. Bring a purple tie for Adam Silver on Tuesday night. I'm sure that we can start some sort of thing trending, like, I don't know, purple silver or tie silver or something. But Purple Tie Tuesday for Adam Silver. You can wear it. You can give it to him. You can do whatever you'd like. But I think we should start something trending here with a Purple Tie Tuesday for Adam Silver. So I am James Ham. Say goodnight, Rui.
Good night.
Good night, Rui. He is Rui Thomas. You've been watching the Cowbell Kingdom Road Reaction postgame show, where the Sacramento Kings beat the Indiana Pacers by a final of 99-94. The losing streak is over. Good night.